This live is just for fun. I basically fed the dogs. Now I'm sitting out on my 3-season porch. As you can see, it's a beautiful blue sky. And I don't even know what to talk about. So I'm probably just, but I only have like 54% battery. So God only knows. I might not be doing this for long. Thank you, Gov. I appreciate all of you guys' help. And Lavinia is back. Cool. I don't. Neil's younger than I am. I have, according to Thomas, he's older than me, and I'm 58. So I don't have any idea of their ages. I would assume that Neil has to be in his 30s, maybe his 40s. I'm always bad with ages. I tell you what, guys, though, give me just 2 seconds. I'm gonna run down and switch glasses because I'm having to do this every time I read now, and I can't see the chat, and this one's just for fun. I don't want to. I just want to talk about fun stuff, you know. So give me 2 seconds. Ugh. Okay, that's better. Unfortunately, I need readers. God, you're wonderful. Getting all of this stuff exposed. There's just too much criminality with all of it. And we're supposed to stand for righteousness. That's what we're compelled to do. And so that's what I try to do. Especially with me. I got involved with all of this stuff because I felt because of what my family was involved with, I owed a debt. You know, that whole the father's sons fall or the father's sins fall upon the shoulders of the son. And so I always have felt compelled and nah, you either subscribe or you don't subscribe. I don't, you know, thank you. It's a nice little breeze today, and I opened up the windows, and the dogs are sitting out in the sun, and I've just been, I feel better today, um, but this cold that I've had really did kick my ass for a while, and I'm getting back to being normal. My version of normal, anyway. Hey, Timothy. See, I'll say people's names that are real. You know, but other than that, you know, hailstorm. We almost had a hailstorm. It was 80 degrees, and then the next day we had a blizzard. But the day that it was 80 degrees, the rain that was falling was so, it sounded like it was hail. And because the drops were so big, but there was no hail on the ground, so it was just the drops of the water. It was like a river had opened up in the sky. It was a really terrible storm. That with the 75-mile-an-hour winds with the 90-mile-an-hour wind gusts, it was pretty intense. Oh my God. Don't believe everything you read, Gov. I mean, I'm not saying the dates for the birth and all of that aren't right, but for the most part, what I have found with this group is that they wouldn't know the truth if it blindsided them right alongside the head. They still wouldn't be able to actually fucking say anything. You know, when he got his, because from what I understand, he has two. Oh, thank you, and two. It he has two felonies from what I understand. I know he's a convicted felon. Indian. Indian is in Native American or is in India Indian. Is Sherilyn in here? I didn't see her. Yeah. Oh, you're Indian from India. That's cool. Hey, Sherilyn. People right now, because of this, what's happening with the sun, as crazy as it sounds, with all of the gamma radiation and the plasma that's hitting this stuff, um, our lives are crazy. We're all being tested. Hey, Sharon. See, I'm so glad that I just ended up coming and redoing this because the last one was, it wasn't as intense as yesterday's. Yesterday's was intense. And the fact that I spent the first 15 minutes on the first section yelling probably was just, oh yeah, India is in that, I would assume. Um, India is one of those places I would love to visit. I just would love to visit India. It's always fascinated me. The culture, the people, the food. David's mean sub, ignore me. And two, I always find you. I find most of you guys entertaining. You know, it's and this one is just for a fun one. I'll probably go until my battery says that it's going to die down, but I just did an hour and a half and I still had 54% battery. So this one's just for a fun one. This is one that, no, Sherilyn would never ignore you. I am better. I've been working on a project that's going to make someone happy, but I spent a lot of the morning worried about them because they were sick last night. But I'm over halfway done with it. So, yay, I'm all excited. And I am feeling better. Thank you, Lavinia. We've all had things are actually getting really intense for a lot of us. And we're all being tested under fire, literally, you know? Chicken run. I would love to have chickens, but my dogs would just, they would never allow it, you know? I am getting better. Thank you. I am still have, some of the sinus stuff, but yesterday, yesterday I was feeling really good and then I did that live and by the time I was done with that live, I felt sick again. And so I went and laid and took a bath yesterday and went to bed. I've been I've been in bed a lot since Friday. But now they are Dollar Tree glasses. Why buy expensive? I have normal glasses that I wear out and about, but when I'm on here, I'd rather just wear readers. I can't read anything. And why spend a lot of money on readers when they're just going to break? They're cheap anyway. They are back, you know, because they have nothing better to do. And they are obsessed with me. Because I am all that and a bag of chips, right? You know, I'm just, I go through readers and I go to Dollar Tree actually for readers because they're $1.25 for glasses. And so I'm just, so I'll go there sometimes and spend $5 and buy several pairs because they break. But then I can have some at each one of my workstations in my studio when I'm sewing, and some at my desk, and I have to have some by my bed because I have a bed upstairs and a bed downstairs. The family room that I have downstairs because I ended up redoing the whole downstairs. Um, I put a bed down in the family room because it's the only place where I have a television. But then I have a normal bedroom too because I don't like to sleep with the television on. Usually I'll fall asleep to the television and then wake up in the middle of the night and then get up, you know. Oh, I'm so sorry, Lavinia. This cold is actually busting people's asses, you know. And from what I understand, it's hospital. A lot of people are being hospitalized over it. I didn't need to be hospitalized, but those of you who have gotten my emails Friday, Saturday, Sunday will realize that I am a complete prick when I am sick. And you don't want to attack me because I won't be nice. And I wasn't nice. I don't even want to look back at some of the stuff that I wrote because fighting with Doug Mesner, whew, I was brutal. Just really, you know. No, I didn't have COVID. You know, I don't have COVID. I still have a sense of smell. I definitely have a sense of taste. It wasn't COVID at all. I caught COVID before COVID was even a thing. And then I've been exposed to people who had COVID over and over and over and have never caught it again. And so, you know, I actually had a cold. I have allergies. That's how my cold started, was allergies. I got allergies. Oh, don't tell me that, Sherilyn. It's beautiful here. I don't want no dark skies. I don't know what it's supposed to be. You know, it started off as allergies, but what it started off as allergies, but then that blizzard screwed up part of my fence. So I went out there trying to fix my fence in this 90-mile-an-hour wind gusts, ice cold, freezing, stuff like that. And Friday I came. Oh, excuse me. Friday I came down with that cold. So Saturday I was really sick. That's why I didn't do a live on Saturday. I probably would not have done a live on Sunday, but Gov got a hold of me and said, "Are you going to do a live?" And then I realized, when I don't do lives, people actually worry because of all the people who have ended up perished with all of this stuff. And I don't want to do that to anybody. I don't want anybody to be unnecessarily worried. And as you can see, it's a nice day. The pretty chemtrails, you know. I don't know how I feel about chemtrails, but the very drained could be from all of the plasma that we're getting hit with. It's gorgeous out here. It has to be in the 60s. This is how I dress. You guys will see me a lot in the summertime. Is I wear t-shirts. Thank you. That's a tree that I just planted a couple years ago and it's budding. I have a small backyard, but it's nice because I have a 9 foot fence, so it's private. You know, I would love. Uh, the Thank you, Lavinia. Um, that's the reason why I think they won't let us collect water, rainwater, is because I think that the stuff that's in the water is going to be deadly, and I think they're afraid people will drink it. You know, I am grateful that I'm outside today because I have been stuck inside in bed for days. And the birds, whenever I come outside and the birds hear me outside, they it's funny because I'll be on the phone and I'll go outside, be talking, and then all of a sudden, because they'll line up on the fence and just watch me and sing, I am in a good mood too. Into I'm glad you're in a good mood. I hope people are in a good mood. Did you get some sleep, Sherilyn? I didn't mean to text earlier this morning so early, but I was concerned. Some of us have loved ones in our lives that, you know, and there are people who have not even loved ones, just family members. All good, cool. There, something's happening with that apartment building. They're not renewing people's leases in just one of the apartment buildings. But it's not that they're getting ready, and it's not Section 8, because especially the people that just moved out, they were definitely not on Section 8, but they didn't get their lease renewed. I think that they're getting, I think that whoever has that apartment building is having, they've heard about the issues. And so people are getting evicted out of there. And I know that it's not that they're redoing the place, because they've moved some different people in there that are just brand new, that are wonderful people. You know, I get butterflies. My yard, for some reason, attracts hummingbirds, which is kind of scary because I'll be outside. If I have a bee or a wasp come around me, I'll end up not batting it away because I never know if it's that or if it's a hummingbird. I seem to attract animals to my yard. One day, a couple months ago, there was a huge falcon that sat on my front porch for an hour, just looking at the front door. I think it was waiting for me to come outside. It was the strangest thing. And it was amazing. And I have cats that come and sit. That's the reason why them doing all this weird stuff, oh, the cats and stuff like that. I love cats. I have dogs, but I grew up with the Siamese cat when I was a kid. And I love kitties. I love cats. And so they'll come sit on my front porch and just sit on the railing and look around and be up there. I would love a duck. And hummingbirds are cute. Hummingbirds are cute. I wonder what that's all about. But I have the windows open so they can hear me out here. You know, Stefan Burns just posted a new, and it said alert. So for those of you who watch Stefan Burns, um, he just posted. It just came up saying that he has just posted a new video, and the first word in it is alert. I have two pits. and a black lab who I think is mixed with mastiff. I have two pits, so they're amazing. All my dogs are amazing. But what you guys see usually is the black lab. But she's obviously mixed with something because she's a girl dog and she's 145 pounds. She's mixed with something. She's a big dog, you know? And it's funny because they're all lap dogs. As you can see, they're all lap dogs. She climbs into my lap all the time and kisses me. She's 145 pounds. You have a gator. Are you in Florida? Oh, wait a minute. I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about. Mine is a brindle pit, and she's red. The girl is red with a red nose. Maybe she's called a red nose. Today's Wednesday, so we have no. The fire alarms went off on Monday. My pits are the most wonderful, loving dogs, and I've had other people who have had pits. How they are usually. It's how they're bred. It's how they're raised. You know, the problem with pits is that you get dumbasses who are fucking pieces of shit. But if it came down to biting, I would have to worry about my black lab way more than I would have to worry about my pets. You know, Sherilyn, you're listening to Prince. I think pitties are wonderful dogs. The only thing that sucks about having a pit is the insurance, because you can only have specific insurance carriers that cover it. So my insurance, I had to go out. So I pay extra for insurance. My insurance company is more expensive, but it's because I have the pits and I can't be without insurance. So you have to, when you have pits, you have to check for the insurance to make sure that they will cover pits. Because some just flat out say, nope, you can't have them. It's funny because my pits like to stick my hand in their mouth, but then so does my black lab. They never bite. And God help you if you have a kid and you bring that kid over here, because they're going to be smothered in kisses. They just kiss and kiss and kiss and kiss. All of my dogs are. They're just sweet. I gotta check my battery here. I'm at 36%. So I can go on for it's 23 minutes, so I bet I can do a whole hour. You know, while I'm sitting out here, why don't we pray? You know, even though this is just a fun one, I just wanted to come on and actually let people talk and be able to engage with you guys. I feel better now, health wise. And I think that I don't know how you guys feel, but I love it when you guys are engaging with each other and actually talking, because then it doesn't feel like it's just all me. I really hate that it's just all me. Oh, I suppose I could go get my charger. All right, well, then you guys give me a second. I'll go get my charger. That way I can at least plug in the phone. And I'll, that way we can just sit and talk. Because even if this one is 2 hours long, since we're all sitting here talking, let me go get my charger and then I'll come back and I'll pray. But let me go get my charger first. locked inside. I know you were locked inside and you wanted some lovins, huh? You wanted some lovins. I love you too. I love you too. Okay, I'm back. Okay, let's see if I can do this. I'm gonna have to pop this off for a minute. They are now out. Are you going in? Oh, you got to get something to drink. Okay, go ahead. Okay. My phone is a little bit warm. Gov, you're amazing. I'm just going to leave the door open because there's no flies in here. They like to go get water, then they like to come outside. My dogs are like kids. They want to go out, then they want to come in, then they want to go back out 5 minutes later, then they want to come back in, then they want to go back out 5 minutes later, then they want to come back in. Let's see if I can. And now they're all outside. Oh. They're very spoiled. But I think that's how animals should be. Thank you, Gov. You know, what I would like, and I know there are other people in here who would actually like it too, because I've talked to them. I would like if it all started to get investigated, and I knew that this child trafficking thing was going to be investigated, and it was getting investigated by legitimate people. Because then I could shift my attention from stopping talking about these fucking child traffickers and start dealing with the word and talking and giving people hope and doing stuff like quilting or stuff in my yard or stuff like that. I don't know if you can see. And love, exactly. Filling your hearts with love and compassion and having empathy for people. And I hate to have lives like I had yesterday. And I don't even know if the first part, the only reason why I stopped it is because I could read what you guys were saying, and I guess I was cutting in and out. It's some sort of willow tree, but it gets pussy willow buds on it. That's how it blooms. And then those fall off, and then it's just a normal tree. It was just, my yard doesn't have any trees. And I mean, you can see that there's other trees in the back, and there's this blue spruce pine is really pretty. It's the sad part about it is it's all the trees around here are dying because there's no water. There's hardly any rain half the time, and so that's just it. There's too many people and too many stories and too many kids, and they dance around like they think that they can act with impunity. Doug Mesner yesterday doing that whole when in doubt, whip it out. That's really what compelled me to do the thing today. Because I was so irritated by him just dancing around, knowing that that idiot is with kids, has access to kids. Like Daniel Dowd, you know? I don't know, if you don't want your kids to meet pedophiles off that they meet online, maybe you should deal with that and talk to your kids. I don't think your kids actually meeting the pedophiles that they meet online is necessarily a good thing. I mean, call me crazy, and they do all the time, but that's the reason why we're in a fire thing, Gov, is that so many trees around here are dead. So many trees are dead. They love to sit out in the sun. My two pitties will just lay in the sun all day. It's the phones are bad enough. It's the gaming systems. And most parents don't have a clue about those gaming systems. And the pedophiles go where the kids are. I gotta shut the door because now there's a fly in here and I don't want it in my house. I would be such a terrible parent. My kids wouldn't have any gaming systems, they wouldn't have any phones, and I probably would duct tape them to me for as long as they were kids. They would hate me. Thank you, Sherilyn. They're pretending to be kids in these guys who pretend to be teenage girls. I'm just. We live in a bizarre world. And they're not. Look at what they are just on my lives. And I'm a 58-year-old male. They're never who they say they are. And they have the most nefarious intentions all the time. And adults who go out of their way to hang with kids, it should be a big red flag. It should be a big red flag because most adults don't want to hang out with kids. You know, I don't have anything in common with kids. So I don't like to hang out with kids. I don't even know what to talk to them about. So I would have flipped out into, and kids are kids. They don't understand what's out there. You know, they don't understand the people out there. Shit, I know adults who don't know, you know, who are totally oblivious. And there's some really bad people out there. Now, I don't know what Fortnite, and I'm not saying that everyone, I'm old, so video games were before me. When I was a kid, the video game that we had was that thing that had a little ball that went back and forth and you hit, the ping, or you had video games. The one with the spider, that was my favorite one, that you went around this structure and you went around, and I don't even remember what it was called. Pong. Pong was the little thing. Fortnite is the largest online free video game. Okay, dude, you're out of here. I'm not having you on here. Roblox. That's the one that was specifically, I remember that because it was like robot for me. When they busted that global satanic Nazi pedophile ring. Centipede. That's what it was. Thank you, Sherilyn. Centipede. And I did Pac-Man too. Pac-Man was fun. And Miss Pac-Man. And but Roblox is one that was mentioned specifically, that global satanic Nazi pedophile ring that got busted a year ago in September, last September in New York City by the FBI. That was, and what they were doing was acting like they were kids, and they were getting these kids to do really weird, bizarre, psychotic shit, even to animals. I mean, the stuff that they were doing was just, and then they blackmailed the kids. Then they would blackmail the kids, you know? Oh, I loved Asteroid. I actually played Asteroid on my phone. But then I read something where the games that you put on your phone, even if you get them from the Google Play Store, aren't safe. So I got rid of all of them. What I'd like to do is go get one of those little things that you can plug into your television that has all of the old school games, and then just go get a remote a thing. I would love that to play the old stuff. Super Nintendo was one of my favorites too. So I did play some video games. It's just now I ended up buying my ex one year for Christmas a PlayStation. And we plugged it in, and for a weekend we tried to play, and I couldn't even get the stupid thing to move. I could make it jump and turn in I could make the person jump and turn in circles, and I could get them finally to move, but and my ex was really pissed off. Tetris was the bomb. I love Tetris. So I had some, you know, I don't know what Zelda was. They do have something. They have a thing where you can plug in and it's all these old school games. And it just fits in a USB port on a television. I would love to have one of those. Like I have the time to actually, but I would play it, you know? I would every once in a while when I got bored, because television just bores the shit out of me. And I rarely find anything on television. And then you think that you're going to watch a comedy, and you end up traumatized because, yeah, it's a comedy, but then there's all kinds of fucked up shit that's in there. And I have to be careful. I don't watch slasher movies. I don't watch mafia movies. I don't, I hate television. Television, and now when you do streaming, they have commercials. So I'm having the same problem that I used to. So a commercial will come on, and I'll get up and go do something, and then come back into the room like an hour later when the thing is ending, and I was just like, oh, I guess I was watching that. It just doesn't capture my attention, you know. Books you can carry with you, you know, and books, I like books, you know. I've always liked books, and a lot of the artwork with the sewing and stuff. That's what I'm working on now. I'm working on a quilt. I'm over halfway done with it. I'm quilting. The whole thing is done, but I'm now it's on my rack, and I'm quilting it. I am actually in the process of not actually writing yet, but I have two book ideas that I'm working on. One one is entitled something that I can't say here because they'll get mad at me. But it's it starts with an F, and it's a derogatory term that's usually used for gay guys. But because I've been gay, as my sister Cindy said, I burned my closet down when I was 3. And my publisher loves the title. And it's just one word, but it's all of the stuff that I dealt with in the gay lifestyle. Because I find that most people do not, a lot of young people have this fanciful, idolized version of the gay lifestyle that I don't agree with. And so I'm trying to talk about the realities, but I'm also talking about the funny stuff. Because the Rabbit Hole, if you go read Rabbit Hole, that's where I basically got the idea. Because Doug Mesner, the Satanic Temple, and all of his dumbass minions went on there. And if you read the comments, it's like people read two different books. Rabbit Hole is not about my sex life. It was never about my sex life. I barely talk about even being gay. But that's where it got me, is just like, well, maybe I should write a book about my lifestyle. And talk about the bathhouses. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to talk about the bathhouses and being a stripper for a year. And, you know, because I tell people these stories and they just are, usually they start hysterical. My Barry White voice is almost gone now. I'm back to just being able to talk, you know, the largest gay club in town. I haven't been in a gay club in, well, it has to be close to 20 years. My ex and I stopped going to gay clubs probably after we were together 10 years. And I haven't been, since I've been divorced. Well, I've been celibate since my divorce. I haven't been with anybody. I haven't dated anybody. I haven't gone into a gay bar. The thing that actually broke us up is one of the first things was is that I refused to go to any more bathhouses because I hated bathhouses. I was I grew up in the time where they just scared the crap out of us with AIDS. And I have the funniest stories about bathhouses. I have one time Fiona made me talk to her daughter because her daughter was kind of just about, you know, oh, gay people are just so great and they're just so fun and blah 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 blah. And so Fiona had me sit and on the phone and talk to her daughter about the legitimacy of the gay lifestyle, because in the 80s that's where they hit all the child trafficking. And with this Abercrombie and Finch dude and all of that, obviously some of it is still hidden into the gay lifestyle. But then I talked about bathhouses, and bathhouses are absolutely disgusting. I ended up, I wouldn't, I didn't want to touch anybody. I certainly didn't want anybody to touch me because I grew up at the time where they just absolutely scared the crap of us with HIV, and I'm glad they did. It was when it was all first coming out, and they just scared everyone, and it saved me. I really do think that that's what saved me because I was, you know, you think about it. You would think about it. Now they have, I just, being gay in this life basically was a blessing. It saved me in so many ways. But the gay lifestyle, I don't like at all. Bye, Sharon. I guess Sharon is leaving. Oh, gotta go. Bye, Sharon. Thank you for coming. You know, the fact that you can go into a bathhouse and have sex with 30 people was just bizarre to me. And, but I didn't much care for it. I didn't much care for it. And I didn't care for the gay lifestyle. And even though I was very, very, very sexually active because I was a sexual abuse survivor, it was when my therapist told me that I was re abusing myself that it occurred. Because, of course, I argued, I'm a total top. I'm not abusing myself. And, you know, that's why everyone in Omaha, I'm well endowed and I was a total top. That's two prerequisites for gay guys that in Omaha. It was weird because everyone wanted to be friends with my ex, But all anyone wanted from me was for me to bop him in the butt. And it was just the opposite. My ex is the one who wanted to have sex all the time, and I wanted to be people's friends. But say la vie, you know. But this is the kind of shit I'm writing in that book. You know, this is the kind that, to go back to it, that's the kind of stuff that I'm talking in this book. And then another book that I have been plotting out, actually writing down ideas, is people wanted to know what happened after I, yeah, opposites attract until they repel. And let me tell you, at the end, I'm so glad to be. One of the things that people, we went and got married in Canada. And we did it because we were bored and didn't have anything else better to do. So we got married in Canada. And I thought gay marriage, it was stupid. But let me tell you, I fucking loved gay divorce. Didn't give a shit about gay marriage, but I loved gay divorce. You know, that dude would have thrown me out with nothing. But because I was able to get a divorce, that didn't happen. And otherwise, it would have. And that just, every time, you know, I loved gay divorce. And I think we were the first gay divorce in Iowa. It, he did take my dogs. I had two dogs, and he ended up claiming both of them. I don't even want to talk about it. It's a bad subject with me. It's a bad subject. I got the black lab because I knew he was taking my dogs. And then the other two I got out in Washington. He took my dogs. The two things, all I really cared about. I don't wish him bad. I just wish that he stays the fuck away from me in this life and every other. Oh, he gave me the car. He gave me a car. I had a car. I kept my car. You want to go in? You're sitting in the sun all hot. All right, hold on. Go in. Go ahead. The one panting has no interest. She's sitting in the sun, sunning herself, panting. Mine kept the dogs because he's a dick. And then my dog, there was a black lab mastiff mix who had never been an outdoor dog in her life. He stuck on a fucking farm and she became an outdoor dog and died just right after that. I don't want to talk about it. It's the thing that, of all the shit that I went through with that dickhead, that's the thing that pisses me off every time I think about it. But anyway, the second book is what happened after I published Rabbit Hole. People want to know what happened to me after I published Rabbit Hole. And so I've been actually plotting that book down too. What happened? Dealing with the Satanic Temple, getting a divorce, moving to Washington. Because when people actually read Rabbit Hole, I have to tell them, realize that I published that in 2012 and I'm way different now than I was back then. I'm a much different person. And completely different. But my Mastiff wouldn't have been. But the black lab that I got her before I went out to Washington. And Rabbit Hole was just people who don't have any clue about any of this stuff and meet me. I had a friend of mine. I actually have three. I have two pits and a black lab. You just never see the one because she doesn't jump. She was, she's a pit, but she got the problem with her joints she's had from puppy. I have to give her glucosamine tablets and all of that. And she's, but the book that I'm writing now is what happened after Rabbit Hole. So I have to bring up all of the Doug Mesner bullshit and dealing with all of that, and then getting a divorce and moving to Washington, and dealing with all of that, and then coming back. But I think that the other book will probably be one of the first book that I publish because it's more of a fun, kind of funny. I'm kind of a just I'm a little bit more outrageous in the book about the gay stuff. Thank you, Lavinia. This life has been, it hasn't been without its blessings. It hasn't been without its blessings. But I just have, yeah, I have 4+ stars on Amazon. But if you read the comments, people just lied in those comments. That some people are like, this is the best book I've ever read. Oh my God, it's great and stuff. And then you have little Doug's friends who are just like, it was all he talked about was his sex life. It was like, and I used to fight in there because when I first published that book, Doug Mesner, Lucian Greaves, founder of the Satanic Temple, started this chat thing that was connected to my book. I didn't even know, I still don't know how he did it. But then I was having to fight him all of that, and my publisher basically said, "Stop fighting. If people leave a bad review, just let it go. You know, just let it go." Oh, yeah, Angel. And I don't know what shipping is. Oh my God, shipping is just terrible everywhere. I have a book that I have to send to Chicago, but the person asked me not to send it via UPS or through the post office because they won't get the book. And I haven't forgotten. I just haven't done it yet because I haven't been to Omaha, and I have to go to Omaha. But I checked on UPS, and it was $20. And I charged $30 for the book, but it's going to cost me $20 to send it through UPS. I went to go check on FedEx, and FedEx is like $25 to mail a book. But do you know for me to mail that book to Australia, it's $40? Damn near 50 now. It's just shipping is just it's bizarre, you know? Uh Lavinia, I'm really actually no different than a lot of people, you know? I've just had a lot of therapy and I'm very self-aware. Very aware of the Holy Spirit, you know? The Holy Spirit surrounds us all the time. It's within us and all around us, and it affects everything. And I just actually like being a servant for heaven. I like serving heaven. Actually, I love serving heaven. And I like helping people. And I like lifting people up. I like people. I care about people. You know, broke as shit, but I never have an abundance, but heaven always makes sure that I seem to have enough. It's kind of funny like that. Okay, go ahead. I'm sitting out here and they don't want to go in, but they are hot when they're out. I can be mean. Oh my God, I can be such a dickhead. I grew up in a family where we were all on top of each other and we insulted each other all the time. And I've made people laugh because there's a rule in life that you don't want to get into this game of quips with a gay guy because you'll lose because we're brutal, you know? And it's just like that. You don't want to get into a game of quip because you won't hurt my feelings, but chances are I'll be able to make you cry. Either that or get so pissed off that you're tearing your hair apart, you know? You don't want to fight with the gay guy because we're brutal. And I can be really, not to mention because of my training, I can reach right into you and figure out what hurts you. And when I was a kid, I used to do that and then just throw it in your face. I don't do that anymore because brutally honest, painfully, brutally honest. you know, it's just, I was talking to a friend yesterday. It was funny because I saw this one thing and I thought it was a little thing that said bitch, but it didn't say bitch. All I saw was the last three letters and it actually said faith. I felt bad. But she said, "You thought it was bitch?" And I was just like, "Yeah, you should take the I thought it was, it said bitch. You should take it home and be proud of that." And she said, "I can be a bitch." And I said, "Yeah, I can be a bitch too." And she looked at me and said, "Yes, you can." And I said, "Actually, I'm more of a dickhead." And she started laughing and said, "Yes, that's exactly it. You can be a dickhead." And I can be a dickhead, you know? Unfortunately, though, I end up pissing. I get pissed off because when I get mad, then I start to say stuff. But instead of actually, I make people laugh. You are not who you are trying to say you are. There's no way. That's not real. And I would never speak. I would never speak for her. Trust me, she doesn't need anybody to speak for her. She's a strong ass woman, you know? She doesn't need anybody to speak for her. One of the most remarkable people I've ever known in my life. Beats me out of the park in so many ways all the time. And it pisses me off that you actually would set up a fake ass account and think that you were coming in here and doing something, would never speak for that woman. That woman is remarkable. I have the utmost respect for I have the utmost respect. And they like to actually tear her apart and she isn't even involved with all of this shit, you know? And she knows I think she's remarkable. You know? Tell her all the time. She's remarkable. Ugh. Things are going so well, and that just irritated me. I am a Sagittarius. Actually, the sign when I was a kid that they were going for was a Fiacus. You know, I'm right in the heart of a Fiacus, which is the 10th astrological sign in 13 instead of 12. It's the most feminine of signs. A Fiacus was, no, it's the 10th and in the 13th because where it falls, but it's the healer. It's the dude that has the serpent around his, you know. But it is Nostradamus used, Chinese use an astrological sign of 13. Ophiuchus is the most feminine of signs because Ophiuchus was a healer. actually learned how to heal and bring people back from the dead. That's the mythos of it. And so he got struck down, but heaven was so upset because he was such a righteous good guy that oh Jesus. Now he comes in and actually comes into another sign. Yes, I remember Sherilyn. I'm not gonna let him bother me. It's we are supposed to be the center. We are supposed to be the center. And but Ophiuchus. But Sagittarius, which is funny because I'm a fire sign that's completely drawn to water. Have water fountains in my house. One of my favorite, the fountain that you see behind me when I'm upstairs is my sister Cindy was with me. She picked that out. I ended up paying for it, but she ended up picking that out years and years and years ago. So I'm a fire sign that's just drawn to water. Just love water. That's why I bathe, take baths. And when I take a bath, sometimes I can soak in there for, oh, Jesus. You would think that they would get a life. You would think that they would get a life. But that's too much to ask for, I guess. They don't know. They don't know how to act right. You know? Oh, Sherilyn, I don't know what you were saying, but if that idiot comes back in, I'm going to block him. Oh, I didn't know that, Gov. You're just full of fascinating stuff. You know that the gates of heaven are most. That Satanists believe that the gates of heaven are are in the Milky Way. I'm just blocking them. Oh my god. Eventually, they'll get tired of setting up new accounts. You know, and it's funny because they didn't come up with the last one that I was actually talking about legitimate stuff. They weren't there, but now that I'm just having fun and actually talking about my ascendant sign is Scorpio, which explains why I can be such a dick. You know, and we'll just keep talking. Because, like I said, this one can go for 2 hours. I have it plugged in. We're having fun. This is my most favorite kind of live. Is when we're just all talking about stuff and it's just all over the place and everyone is, you know, Aquarius. I'm a mermaid princess. Uh, no wonder I'm drawn to you, Sherilyn, because I am a Sagittarian that's drawn to water. You know. Oh, I am happy today. And my eyes are back to being. When I'm sick and stuff, my eyes go gray. Thank you, Into. See, Gov talks about my mirror being clean, but what he doesn't realize is for the long, along for often, I don't like to look into mirrors because I do not think inside, Katie. The kingdom of heaven is inside of us and all around us. That's Geo. Geo, who did all of that weird shit yesterday and then went on X and was like, oh, David's crazy because I wasn't even on there. And everyone knew it was him. He does the same shit every time. It's not like it's different. If you want to know, Angel, what you want to do, the Deacons. Type in the Deacons. It's like a tarot reading place, but you type in all of your information, where you were born, when you were born, what time you were born, and it'll give you all of your ascendant, your moon sign, your sun sign, all of that. And so it's all I know is that I'm Sagittarius and my ascendant is Scorpio, you know, which is funny because I don't usually get along with Scorpios. But if you want to know all of your stuff, go in the Deacons Tarot. Just type in the Deacons, Decans, Tarot. And it'll ask you for all of your birth information. And then it comes up and tells you what everything is. You know, I don't much buy into the whole. I find it fun to read. The Deacons, that's it. Deacons. Um, but I just like it's fun to read my horoscope, but it's not like I give it too much credence. You know? Oh, Jesus. They're just trying the hardest, but that is Geo. Block is what I do. Why did you murder Owen and then be stupid enough to actually brag about it? That's what Geo Farnsworth is all upset about. You know? And the shit that happened when I was 13 happened because I was having a psychotic break. And all of the stuff that they've talked about is all bullshit. You know, it's all bullshit. Oh, this is definitely Geo. He's just so. Why are you meeting kids and using Isaac Cappy's family to actually traffic kids? Why are you involved with molesting kids as an adult? I was 13. What's your fucking excuse? As an adult, you convicted criminal because you have a criminal history and you're meeting kids. You're trafficking kids. And I was 13 having a psychotic break after they made me light that dude on fire. You know, it was just, I get so tired of it. And they think that they're actually doing something. But my nephew had to explain it to his kids, and now his kids have kids, and he's afraid that he's going to have to explain it to his grandkids because they put it all over the fucking internet. And so it just ends up causing more chaos for a victim, you know? And it doesn't do shit to me. My family has dealt with it. A long time ago, we dealt with it. And what ended up happening was it wasn't even that bad, but I didn't go to jail. There was no reason to take my nephew to the hospital. They want to make it out to be so much worse than it is. What ultimately ended up happening is the state of Minnesota sent social workers into my dad's house. That's what ended up happening because I was having a psychotic break and they knew something was wrong, you know? And now, thank you, Into. And now I'm a warrior. And that's the issue that they have. They're fucking child traffickers doing child trafficking shit, you know? They want me to talk about it. I have to excuse myself for just a second, though, because I have to go to the bathroom. So I'm sure they're going to come in here. So I have to apologize. But if I don't go to the bathroom, I'm going to pee my pants. So you guys got it. Exactly, Into. You guys got this. I'll come right back. Oh. Okay, my hands are still wet. Okay, what did I get? I tell you what, Crab Gamer, you don't have to watch it. I got rid of them. Thank you for being patient. I had to wash my hands too. I went and got this I Love Lemon tea with vitamin C because I've just been. Oh, yeah. Let's pray. Thank you, Lavinia. Heaven, we come to you as your children, and we just want to say how much we appreciate today that we were all able to come together. And although the conversation has been various and we've been dealing with a lot of topics, we're all here because of you. We're all here because of in your name. We appreciate you giving us the word and sending your son, Jesus Christ, down to not only instruct us on the word, but live a life that we were able, as best as we can, to emulate. And each one of us in our own right is a warrior. We know that the kingdom of heaven is inside of us and all around us, not in buildings made of wood or stone. You've said that your son said, split a piece of wood and you will find the Holy Spirit. Lift a rock and it is there. It's all around us and guiding us, instructing us, keeping us strong, making us the warriors that we all are. And we are grateful for that. We are in some difficult days, and we are here to actually help as many people get through this time with their souls intact. And we lead by example. We not only talk about the word, but we do our best to live it, to show the, our love for you. We glorify your name, we glorify the word. Love is what completes us and makes us whole. And it is with you that we are made whole. And we are appreciative of that. And although many of us are going through trials and tribulations, they are nerve wracking and keep us up and tug at our heartstrings in more ways than one. We realize that you are with us and that everything that's going on in our lives is because of you, and we are grateful for that. As painful as things might be, we know that you are with us and have a hand in everything, and that everything will work out to a point where eventually, when we are finished with this and this is all over, there will be no death. There'll be no pain. There'll be no sorrow. We will breathe in joy, and we all look forward to that time. But until then, we are grateful that you are with us, beside us, supporting us, leading us. And we are grateful for your Son, our brother, Jesus Christ, and his teachings, and the way he lived his life that helps all of us. Okay, I don't even know how much you guys got out of that. They're screwing with my phone, is what they're doing. Should I redo? Should I redo that prayer? It was actually a really good prayer. It was really help. Thank you for the Holy Spirit. Jesus Christ told us that the Holy Spirit is inside of us and all around us, not in buildings made of wood and stone. If you if we split a piece of wood, the Holy Spirit is there. If we lift a rock, we will find it. It's all around us, and we are grateful for that. And we are grateful for you sending your Son, our brother Jesus Christ, to help us emulate the Word and how to live the Word. We stand up and glorify your name, glorify the life that we have. And even though many of us are facing tribulations that are nerve wracking and painful and hard to deal with, we know that you are with us. And we are grateful for that. And that we are soon reaching a time where there'll be no death and there'll be no sorrow, no pain, just joy. We will breathe in joy. And we look forward to that. And we are grateful beyond words that you are fulfilling your promises. We live, we rejoice, and we love the word. And we love that you sent your Son, our brother, Jesus Christ, to help us live the word as best as we can. And with all of that said, with all the love in our hearts and the gratitude that we can muster, we say these things lovingly in your Son, our brother's name, Jesus Christ. Amen. Thanks, guys. Thank you, Lavinia, for reminding me that I need prayer. They hate this one. We're actually having fun, so of course they want to come in here and dick it up. You know, and they do crap with my phone all the time. With all the love in our hearts, fill your hearts with love. Live and glorify the word. That's what we've been instructed to do. Oh, they are jealous. Gov, the thing about it is that people like me. And it's not, oh, I'm so great. But what they hate is that people don't like them. Oh, yeah, they'll get involved with all of their hateful shit and get all of that, but it's not them that people like. It's their hateful shit. And I know you guys actually like me, but then I like you guys too, and we all care about each other and we pray for each other, and thank you, Into. And they don't like that, you know. Oh, don't leak love, Lavinia. Let it flow. You know, just let it flow. I try, but sometimes it is difficult. And as I've said, I can be a big dickhead sometimes. Whew, I can be a dickhead. And they hate that. We all need to heal, you know? Thank you, into. And we all need to heal. We all have places that need healing. And it's not a destination, it's a process. And that's what I found, is that it's a process. But as much as I hate to do this, I am definitely going to get off here because my throat is getting sore from talking. But this has been fun. And Gov, thank you so much for sending that video. Anybody else who feels compelled, it's a numbers game. You know, we are all brothers and sisters in the Lord. We are all God's children. We are all God's children. And let me tell you, the side of heaven is so much better than their nasty ass side. You know, it's so much better than their nasty ass side. Their hateful, insultive, nasty ass. They're the most miserable motherfuckers you have ever seen in your life. I've had to deal with them for years, and they are just miserable, sad, nasty. If they weren't such ugly people, you could feel sorry for them. But unfortunately, their lives are the way they are because of their own actions, you know? But it'll never change because they're not responsible for the awful shit in their lives. They're never responsible, you know? And so, sweet dreams, Lavinia. I need to get off here too because with the other one and this one, damn, I've been on here for what? Well over 2 hours. But I know that someone can call me because I spent this morning worried. Oh, two of them are inside because they were tired of sitting outside. But the one that was panting the loudest, she's sitting in the sun in the 3 season porch with me. They're just what they would like to do is go to bed. Is what they'd like to do. They'd like me to take a nap. If it's you just had a hailstorm though, but Lavinia, when you're the most anxious, at least go outside, feel your feet on the ground, and breathe in the air, the fresh air. Sherilyn, is it still dark there? And if it is, I hope you keep it. Because I don't. It's beautiful here. It's nice to be outside. I used to be able to take naps the older I get, especially with the energy that's going on right now. I don't ever sleep, you know? At night, I can sleep. Oh my God, I slept in today. I didn't get out of bed till 5:45 in the morning. I was up at 3, but I just laid in bed and then I went back to sleep. Very strong sun energy, Gov. Exactly. The energy is so strong right now. I'm not in the sun. I'm just outside, and yet I can feel the energy in a way that it's overwhelming, you know? They're trying to take everybody out. They're trying to take everybody down, you know? I would too if I was around. I loved doing stuff like that, fencing, farm work. Just because I have PTSD does not mean that I am physically incapable. It's just the with the post traumatic stress disorder, actually counting on anything is kind of difficult. But I well, here, I tell you what, I'll give you guys just a little view of my backyard and show you what my project is to be now that I'm getting better. I'll come outside and show you what my project is. Ooh, as I fall over the cord to my phone. Okay, I took off my glasses because the sun was just killing it, but I can't see anything without my glasses. Okay, can I do this? Okay, so see these? I'm building this, and I started last year. It took me a year to get all these, but I'm gonna dig this up and actually finish this. It's where my grill is in there. Then I'm getting ready to do this. And so, but that, and I fill it in with sand. I fill that in with sand and all that, and then I dig that in. See, my backyard is pretty small, but it is cool. I got these things out of the garbage, and then this one out of the garbage. So I made a little art piece. And my little rose bush that I just replanted. But this is my backyard. And I did this. I built this when I first moved in so that I had a little thing to sit out here. And so now you guys saw a little bit of my backyard. Well, you saw my whole backyard actually. And then this is the one you guys never see. She's my little panther. She wants to go in. Okay. So that is a little bit more of my life. And you just saw my little miss that you guys probably have never seen. She is probably my most spoiled. She is my most spoiled. But this one has been a lot of fun. I have to agree, Gov. This one has been a lot of fun. And I figured that they break into my house all the time, so they probably have already seen my backyard. And it's not like I have it's not like I live in a mansion by any means. My house is very small. But when I moved in, I had to have a back fence. And so I put in the back fence, and then they wouldn't stop jumping over my fence and getting into my backyard. So then I had to put the lattice up to make a 9 foot fence. And that still doesn't stop them. They screwed up part of my fence by jumping and into it. And then ended up really pissing me off. What really pissed me off is when they jumped over, because they jumped over. This is how they jumped over. And look at what they did to my Joseph statue. And I just haven't had the heart to get rid of it, but that's a Joseph statue. And I want to put the head back on. But I don't know how to do it. I tried to use hot glue
but I can't even leave it on there because it falls off and I'm afraid it'll break. But I'll figure out a way to fix it because I don't want to get rid of it. Not that I'm Catholic, but the whole thing of Joseph being a good father, that's just something that I never had. My dad was complex, but he was a freaking child killer. So comparing him to Joseph and my mother so was not Mary. That's just it, into you don't have to be Catholic to appreciate our faithful history. And I love the story of Joseph. You know, the father that just accepted it all and still was a loving father. And so I've always loved Joseph. But when they jumped over my fence, they hit that statue and broke my statue. That I was more mad about that than I was about them fucking up my fence. And so, but this is the shit that I have to do. You know, I should not have to live in a place where I have to have a 9 foot fence around me. But I do have to say I kind of like my 9 foot fence because it makes the backyard very private, and I appreciate that. This has been a lot of fun, guys. This live has just been a lot of fun. I'm really glad that I came back on. All of our stories matter. Joseph's story matter. All of our stories, you know. I It's funny because I watch a lot of Christian stuff on YouTube, so my algorithm comes up, and I get these quiz things to where they ask biblical history and biblical stories and stuff, and I almost always can answer the questions correctly because if I could go to a church where it didn't become political, I would go find a church, but you get people together and it almost ultimately always becomes political. And that's a good thing, Lavinia. Don't cry because it's over. Smile because it happened. I like that. You know, I'm glad. I hope a lot of people have better days when they catch the live. You know, I know that it actually helps me out a lot. I know that it helps me out a lot. So I will do one thing since I'm showing people stuff. Don't want to show too much of the house because right now it's a disaster. But I will show you what I'm working on. When I first moved here, I had sold my house in Washington for $230,000. Never had that much money in my life. But when I bought the house, I also bought a long arm who's always meant to start a business with. Obviously, that's never happened because my post traumatic keeps me from actually being able to do stuff in the house, too. But I'll show you guys my newest project. It's down in my basement. You guys are seeing so much more of my life, but they break into my house all the time. So, let's see if I can. This is my long arm, and this is a quilt. Oh, this is a quilt that I'm working on. It was a used long arm, but that's what I'm working on now. It's for someone special. And then that's my boy. Okay, come on, guys. This is the room that I turned in. And then this is one of the first quilts that I made. I tell you what, because there's a poem on the back of this quilt. So I'll read the poem and show it, and then I got to get off here because my battery's going to go dead anyway. But I figure since I'm showing you guys stuff, okay. This is a quilt that I made. It begins and ends with love. Love for the spirit, love for others, love for ourselves. Whether within creation or destruction, work from love and do no harm. Holding this in mind will lead one to the road of success, always bringing back one to the source and offering the blessings of peace. Peace of mind, peace of heart, peace of spirit, grace for all manifest world peace. First, I searched and found within the understanding and compassionate Father, all knowing and eternally loving. A patient teacher, he helped bring me to embrace the three aspects of the goddess. Mother, who nurtures and feeds us. Maiden, who shares her counsel with us, who shares her love and counsel with me. And the warrior Bridget, who stands proud and fierce with the absolute power of the pure potential of the dark feminine, assuring me even in the darkest of moments, I am responsible, I am strong, and I am loved. Life is a celebration, allowing appreciation for the complex blend of love from the feminine within me offered me strength and comfort, helping the masculine discover the power in humility, becoming vulnerable enough to let God help me manifest my life within and without any moment I choose, knowing that every moment is a choice and I am responsible for my choices, for we reap what we sow. As a shaman, I believe that the kingdom of heaven is within. It is within that one finds God. In my journey, I have found guides and angels who have helped in leading me further and farther within so that I may better understand myself. Through and beyond the depths of despair, in the glistening darkness of pure potential, grows the tree of life. Enveloped in the silence, sit in quiet contemplation, breathing deeply, embracing and releasing. For it is here that one hears God. In letting go, we are shown the wonderments of the universe and the glories of life, which in turn brings us back to love. It is easy to become distracted with wildflowers in the labyrinth of the soul, but in every direction there are lucky coins of love, giving direction and answering the question of the meaning of life, echoing the joy for the opportunity of our obligation to bring love and compassion as light bearers to the dragon within ourselves, offering encouragement, love, and forgiveness to those around us, stimulating spiritual evolution through personal enlightenment, and transforming us with the realization that within and without there is nothing but God, and God is love. This is one of the first quilts I ever made, and I made it for myself. It was my family, how I looked at it. And the stuff that I just wrote, that I just read, that's in a poem in the back. But I live in a simple house, but I had to redo this whole downstairs when I first moved in because it was just an icky basement.
And I ended up redoing the whole thing. My house pisses them off because they just don't think that I deserve my house. Even though it was by my own good choices that I did that. But so, thank you. You know, thank you for actually being interested. It was hard to show the camera and read at the same time. I usually don't read that bad. But that quilt was one of the first things I ever made at the beginning of therapy. And it's really old, and I sleep with it. That's the reason why it looks the way it does now. It didn't look that way when I first made it, but quilts are meant to be used. And so, I mean, if it was a wall hanging, I would hang it up on the wall. But it's not. It was meant to be a quilt. And it's pretty worn now. That quilt is probably, oh, 20 years old. I did it 20 years ago, a little over 20 years ago. Well, I got into sewing when I was 28, and it was one of the first things I ever made. And so I used to do all of the art stuff. Right now, I'm starting to I'm doing what I call grandma quilts, quilts that have patterns or, traditional. But I'm working with someone who likes to buy jewelry, tear it apart, and make it into something new. And so we're going to collaborate, and I'm going to start making some more ribbon ladies with jewelry and stuff. They'll be wall hangings. And so, but, okay, my phone is about probably ready to die. I have 24%, but I need to call someone and make sure that their loved one made it through. You know exactly who I'm talking about because you're on here. But this has been wonderful, guys. You know, the problem with quilts is that they're expensive now. You know, they are expensive. Fabric is so expensive anymore. And now that Joann's is closed, it's even going to get even worse. It's going to suck. But I would end up probably doing, I'm going to start making those bags too, purses and stuff. But you saw my long arm. It's old. It was used when I bought it. It's probably a long arm that's like 30 years old. And even so, when I bought it, when I moved back here and I had money left over from the house that I sold in Washington, it still ended up this thing cost me 10 grand. Never spent 10 grand on anything, but I had the money. It was funny because when I sold the house because I was on disability, I didn't want any of that money coming to me. So I made allocations. So when they cut the check for the house and they were cutting the check for me, they ended up paying all of the stuff, that I needed so that I never saw any money because then I wasn't responsible. That's the reason why Thomas Schoenberger trying to report me for fraud. Doug Mesner has been on top of me my whole adult life. So I just don't play. I never let myself get into a situation to where I make sure everything is above board all the time because I know that they're on top of me all the time. So him trying to report me for fraud is fraudulent. And so, fucking dickhead. But with that said, I'm going to get off here. It has been amazing, guys. Thank you. I can't believe I was on here for another hour and 45 minutes. But I'm actually going to have hamburger. I'm going to just throw it on the grill, stay outside. And it was wonderful, guys. Thank you so much. This was a lot of fun. I'm really glad that I did a second one. And that this one was just fun. You know, I just,
this one was a lot of fun for letting me share, because, you know, but I'll be back on tomorrow. Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday probably will be the 3 days every week that I end up doing these. Is Tuesday, Thursdays. And just because I did one today, I'm still going to do one tomorrow, even though it'll probably be short. And I'll need you guys to actually give me something to talk about, because I talked a lot today. But my throat is sore, and I got to save a little bit of my throat so I can call someone. They know who they are, and I'm calling you as soon as I get off here. So, okay. Love you guys. Thank you so much. And I will see you tomorrow.